Hi everyone, welcome to Animal Communication. Thank you very much for joining me today. Unfortunately, last week I couldn't do a live video because I was traveling to Perth to teach a lovely group of people how to connect with animals. But we're back live today. Last week I posted a quick... Oh, sorry, I better turn my messages off before we continue so we don't get... Okay, so now we're back on. Sorry for that. I just quickly had to turn off the messages so we're not getting disturbed doing this. So yes, welcome and thank you very much for joining me. It's great to see you here, and it's great to see people have interest in their animals and helping their animals and wanting to understand their animals, because that is really what it is about. And funny, I had this discussion on the weekend about a behaviorist and animal communication, and it was a girl that studied animal behavior for 3 years, and she got a bit offended when I said to her that it's just not the same, because sometimes animals' behavior doesn't reflect what's really going on inside them, and we just need to talk to them to find out what's going on, because we can ask them any kind of questions and we can find out how they're feeling, we can find out what is going on, we can find out why they're doing certain things. And last week I posted asking for people to send me a photo if anyone wants to get a reading done on their animals, and send me a couple of questions. And this is also something that you can do this week. So if you want to have any, if you have any questions for your animals, just email that through to me, info@animalcommunication.com.au, and I will pick a few animals that I will have a chat. So that's what I did for this week as well. I have chosen a few animals that I have here with me. So we're just going to do a few live readings today and see what those animals have to say, because there's owners that want to have some answers from their animals, and it's great if I can help them find out what's going on. So the first animal that I brought with me is from someone that sent me. That's this beautiful girl here. Her name is Maya. I don't know much about her. I think she's around 10 years old. And yes, so the owner sent me that photo. So I will just connect with her first and just find out a bit of general information from her to see how she's feeling and anything she wants to tell me. I never go straight to the questions. I always just want to find out what animals want to tell me and what is concerning them, and then I'll go to the questions. So Maya tells me that she's quite a curious girl, and she tells me that she loves her freedom that she has. She loves to roam around, and she even says that she loves to not come home sometimes. She enjoys that she can just go away, especially, she said, when there's a lot of people in the house. She enjoys that she can go away and find a quiet place where there's no people annoying her. And she tells me that she's a little bit tight in her shoulders, which to me feels a little bit like arthritis. So that could be something that is age related, because I do know that she's a little bit older, so she might be feeling her front shoulders a little bit age related. It's not a really bad pain. It's maybe a 2 out of 10. It's just being a bit tight. So that's not really anything that I'm concerned about. She tells me that she loves watching birds and she tries to catch them. She tells me she's not that fast, so a lot of times she doesn't catch them, but birds are really her favorite thing to do, to watch them and try to chase them. She also tells me that she's very careful with cars. She knows that she has to be careful around them and that she just can't cross the road anytime she wants to. So just anyone that has joined now. So this one here is beautiful Maya. She tells me that her favorite food is tuna. She likes fish. And she also tells me that that's quite good for her coat when she gets tuna, because it's got the oils in it that help her with her coat to make her coat shine. Her eyes are still very good, she tells me, especially at night. She can still see very well. And she also tells me that she doesn't like it when there's a lot of noise. So she is a bit funny with, things like thunderstorms and any loud noise that worries her a little bit. And she tells me that she's a bit of a shy girl. She likes people and she's open to meet them, but she doesn't like it when people are full on and they just run up to her and they scare her a little bit. So that is something that she doesn't like very much. And she also tells me that she likes her water. And obviously that's then something that I think, well, could there be something with the kidneys? But she tells me that her kidneys are good. There's no problem with the kidneys. So that's great to know as well, that there's no health issues. And she tells me that she loves sleeping on the bed, really close to the people. So she's not a cat. My cat, for example, likes to sleep near my feet, but Maya tells me that she likes to sleep in people's faces. And she tells me that she sleeps wherever she wants to. So she's pretty free in the decisions she can make where she can sleep. And she tells me again that she's just a bit funny with people in her home that she doesn't like, and then she prefers to go away and do her own thing. So the owner sent me an email saying they want to know how she's feeling health-wise. She pretty much already answered that when I had a chat to her. So she's telling me that she's a little bit tight in her shoulders, that her eyesight is still very good. And she tells me she's not so much of a fan of being picked up. She tells me she loves to sit with the people, but she's not necessarily one that wants to be picked up and carried around. So she prefers to come to you rather than you carrying her around. But apart from that, health-wise, she tells me she's fine. There's nothing else that's concerning her, so that's good to know. And the owners also wanted to know whether she has any questions for them, whether there's anything that she wants to know. And she's asking me why they lock her up sometimes. So she tells me that sometimes she doesn't have the freedom to come and go, and she doesn't understand that. She tells me that she does have a cat door that she can use, but she tells me that sometimes she gets locked in and she doesn't understand why this is the case, why she can't always choose whether she wants to come and go. And she tells me again that she is careful with cars, so she doesn't think it's a problem that she needs to be locked up at any time. She would like to do whatever suits her at any time of the day. And whether she has any other questions for them. Yes, she also tells me that she likes to have somewhere where she can hide. And she tells me that there used to be a cupboard that she could hide in and sleep in. And she tells me that that's not the case anymore. So we obviously need to find out with the owners where that is, where the cupboard is that she liked to go in. And maybe it is a possibility that they can create that for her again, that environment. So she's got that nice cozy place to sleep in. And the owners also want to know whether there's any other information that she would like to give them. Hello, how are you? Nice that you're joining me. Thank you very much. If you would like to get a reading done at any time, just send me the photos through. The email address is on the video, is linked to the video, and I can hopefully pick your animal to do a reading next time. Going back to Maya, whether there's any other information that she would like to give us. She tells me in general she's really happy. She doesn't quite understand another thing she tells me, that is with the cars. She doesn't understand why there's cars in the driveway that come and go, because she thinks the driveway is her place and the cars shouldn't be shifted around there. And it for her, there's a bit too much action come and go. So that is something that confuses her. Oh, that's, yes, your dog ran away. Yeah, that's understandable. Well, send a photo through and hopefully he is one that I can pick. And yes, of course, you can get a private reading done if you want to. If you want to, you can send me the information and we can do a reading during the live show. And if you would like to get a private reading done, I'm more than happy to do that as well. You can find all the information on my website, which is animalcommunication.com.au. Okay, so I think that is... Oh yes, we have another question for Maya, and that was what her favorite thing is to do. So I'll just show you Maya again that I'm connecting with at the moment. So asking her what her favorite thing to do is, and she tells me that she loves to be outside, be around the house. She tells me she doesn't go very fast, and she prefers to hang out around the house. But again, she tells me that for her it's important she can come and go whenever it suits her. She tells me she's very careful, she doesn't go too far away, but she would like to just be able to come and go as it suits her. And the main thing is for her that she can be outside. So she's definitely not an inside cat. She likes being inside, but she tells me if she's inside for too long, then she's really, she really needs to go out. And she's just a cat that needs to be grounding herself, and she just loves to be outside. Yes, Lisa, well, send me the information if you would like to get a reading done during the next show, or otherwise anytime you can book a private reading as well. And Snowy Queenie and Buzz, it would be lovely to connect with them. Oh, you have 3 missing cats. That's terrible. Did they all run away at the same time? Or was that over time? Yes, and definitely, Ursula, if you want to, you can just send me the information through, and hopefully I can pick your animal for the next show. Thank you. Okay, so this was Maya, and hopefully the owner will have a chat to me so I can give her a bit more feedback, or clarify a few things, and that she can give us information as well about what Maya had to say. And I'm sure Maya appreciates us talking to her and listening to that we listen to what she has to say. And often animals, they don't ask for big things, they don't ask for big changes, they don't ask for a $10 million swimming pool. They might just ask for our time. They might ask for little changes, that we open the door or close the door, or that we give them a little bed somewhere. So really, whatever they ask us, it's not a big thing. So generally they are easy to satisfy, so that's great. Oh yes, yeah. Cats and dogs in general, they can get quite scared with thunderstorms, and they do tend to run away, and it is important that we try to have them with us in a thunderstorm. My dog is the same. She totally freaks out in a thunderstorms. So I use essential oils to help her to be calm, and she just loves to be near me, to be safe, because she feels safe around me. But sometimes we just can't always be with them, or they outside when a thunderstorm comes in, and then they might just run away. But we can definitely connect with them, find out where they went, what happened, what they can see where they are now. So that's definitely something that we can do. Yes, Joey. Well, if you want to be part of this and maybe be drawn in the next show, send me the photos through. My email address is on the video, connected with the video, so it's info@animalcommunication.com.au. Yes, absolutely, Nick. Yes, animals, they are just awesome, and as you said, a lot of them are a lot better than humans. I shouldn't really be saying that, but I think we are all on the same page. Animals are just so pure, and they're absolutely wonderful, so it's great to connect with them. Okay, so we have another animal here, and this here is a beautiful guinea pig, as you can see, and it's fantastic to be able to connect with little animals as well. And I'm always excited. I've had even communications with a fish, a chicken. So this lady, she was really concerned about her chicken, and it's just great to see that animals care about humans care about all kinds of animals, and not just big animals, dogs, horses. It's great to see that they even want to know what animals are thinking: guinea pigs, hamsters, goats, sheep, anything. So yes, so this is a guinea pig that I have been asked to communicate with. Her name is Philly, and she's not with us anymore. She has passed away quite a few years ago, and the owner absolutely adored her. So obviously we want to know from her if she enjoyed the time with us and how she's feeling, where she is now, maybe even if she's coming back to us, or if she's got other plans. So let me just connect with this beautiful girl. She tells me that she was always very well behaved. She tells me that she could even do tricks and commands. And she tells me that she had great freedom in the house. She tells me, I'm not quite sure whether she had a cage, but she shows me that she has been free in the house a lot, and she's been running around in the house a lot, which is really great for her. And she also tells me that she was able to jump up on people's laps. So it sounds like she was more of a dog than a guinea pig, really. And she tells me that her owner loved her very much. And she also tells me that she was the owner's first animal, and that they had a very strong bond, and that this was a very important time for the owner to bond with animals and to experience this beautiful relationship that you can have with animals. She tells me that she loved to be in the bed. And she also says that she was a very tidy guinea pig. She tells me that sometimes she did have little accidents, but she's saying in general she was very good. Hello, Wendy. Nice having you here. Thank you for watching. Have you got animals as well? Yes, absolutely. I do have courses. If you go to my website, you can find the information. But the easiest probably would be to send me an email and let me know which area you are in, and I can send you the details where I'm going to be and when I'm in your area. And I also have people hosting workshops, so we can always organize something in your area if I haven't got anything coming up in your area. Hello, Tanya. Good to see you. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, so going back to this beautiful girl and finding out how she's feeling, and one of her questions the owners wanted to know from her is whether she enjoyed the time with her owner. And I think that is pretty much something that she has already answered. And she tells me that she had great freedom and she was allowed to roam around the house. She tells me she wasn't a big fan of the outdoors and that she was mainly inside, but she had a lot of room inside and she was very happy to be running around free in the house. Oh, that's wonderful, Wendy. So what kind of puppy are you thinking of getting? Yes, and I do have horses as well, Wendy. So I do actually get to communicate with a lot of horses. A lot of my clients are horse people. And yeah, horses are just amazing. And yes, Tanya, I'm in South Australia, but it doesn't really matter where I am because I can connect with your animals over distance. So I've got clients in Europe, in America, all over Australia, and even clients in South Australia. I just do them over distance. So I don't really go to see clients because I don't have to. And I actually prefer to do them over distance because when you see animals, you often, you see an animal that's lame and you might then judge the situation because of what you see. But if you talk with an animal over a photo, you're really just going by what the animal is, the information the animal is giving you. Okay, so this girl here, another question for her, which is Philly, who has passed away, and the owner wanted to know whether she could have done anything different. So I guess we're talking here about the time before she passed away. She tells me that she was sick for a little while. Hello, Emma. Good to see you. Oh, you're in Adelaide too, Tanya. That's fantastic. Well, you can give me a call if you want anytime and we can have a chat. We can organize something. I can visit you if you want to, or I can do a distant reading, and you'll find my number on my website as well. Yes, so Philly is telling me that she has been sick for a while before she passed away, and she tells me that she was feeling quite dizzy at the time and that she wasn't quite with it anymore. So she's saying her body was still going, but her brain, she was quite confused and she didn't quite know what was going on at the time. And she tells me that she's very sorry that she couldn't stay any longer. So she understands that it was quite stressful and painful for the owner when she had to leave. But she also tells me that the owners made the right decision. I do get the feeling that they wanted to put her to sleep, but I think she might have passed on her own. And she tells me that was to to make sure that the owners are not feeling guilty about it. And she tells me again that the owners were first-time owners, so she might have been an animal that has been with someone that hasn't had animals before. Yes, absolutely, Wendy. We can communicate with animals that have passed away, and it doesn't matter when they passed away, whether it was last week or whether it was a few weeks ago or even a few years ago. That's absolutely no problem. So if you do have photos, it's great just to identify the animal. So photos are not used to actually see something on them. It's purely to identify the animal. So you can just send all the information through and we can have a chat to your horse if you like. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, and we can definitely connect with animals, with birds as well. We've actually, I think on my Facebook page, there is some feedback from a girl. We were looking for, I think it was a galah, and he flew away, and he was very specific with the details. He gave us what he could see, which area he was, and we found him. So that was pretty good and amazing, because he ended up with a group of galahs, and so they were looking in that area that he described what he could see, and they did find him again. So that was really great. You know, it's not always easy to find animals. Sometimes it doesn't really make sense what they can see, and you know, they describe the area, and sometimes we don't exactly know where that is or what it could be. But yeah, it's fantastic to be able to help people. We're actually looking for a dog once that had run away, and he was showing us those huge pipes that he went in the ground, and they looked like water pipes. And when I told the owners, they said, yeah, there's some big pipes in a park nearby. So they went to those pipes, and they went in a little bit, but they couldn't go in far enough to find the dog. So we kept talking to the dog, and she was really, I think it was a girl, and she was really scared. So we kept saying to her that she has to come out, because people can't go in those pipes to find her. So please come out, and so we can find you. And one day she just turned up sitting next to a pole with a missing dog poster on the pole saying, you know, that she was missing. So someone came along and saw the picture right next to the dog, and so she took her to the vet, and that was a happy ending. So that was fantastic. Yes, Wendy, that's okay. I mean, we don't really need a photo to communicate, because the connection is happening from me to you, to your horse. I just prefer to have a photo to identify the animal, but even if you don't have a photo, we can still connect, and you just have to give me a bit of basic information, name, age, if they're still alive, breed, and color they are. So yeah, it doesn't really matter if you don't have a photo. And people keep asking, you know, what kind of photo do you need? And I always say it just needs to be a clear photo where you can see. Sometimes they send you blurry photos at, you know, 7 o'clock at night. It's pretty dark and you can't see anything. So that's really the only thing, but it doesn't really matter how the horse or how the animal is standing and what you can see. The main thing is just that it's clear and it's a good photo and there's light so you can actually see the animal. But that's really all that's required with the photo. Yes, of course you can have a reading, Tara. So you can either send me the information and you might be lucky to get drawn for the next live show. And otherwise you can send me the information as well. You can book a reading through my website, which is www.animalcommunication.com.au. And if you have any questions, you can send me a message or you can give me a call. So just feel free to contact me if you need some more information. Okay, let's go back to this beautiful girl. So the owners wanted to know whether there was anything they should have done differently, but she confirmed to us that there was nothing more they could have done and that she was very happy staying with them. And she tells me again, for someone to be a first-time owner, they did a fantastic job. She tells me that the nutrition was really good. She tells me she would have liked to have a little bit more food, but she also tells me that she did have a bit of a belly on her. So I think she was probably a bit on the bigger side and didn't really need any more photo. Yes, Nikki, I'm live always on Thursday evenings at 8 o'clock. If you would like to be a lucky lucky person to get a reading done during the live show, you can just send me the information to my email, info@animalcommunication.com.au. And if you have any questions, just contact me and let me know. And yes, of course, I do private readings. You can find all the information on my website, or you can give me a call or send me a message. Yes, I do my readings pretty much every day. I've got clients booked in, and I also do missing animals and a lot of other things, and emergency readings if there's sick animals, and I obviously always try to squeeze them in because they're quite important. And so yeah, it really depends, but normally within a week you should be able to get feedback from your animal. And if it's something that's more urgent, I will definitely try to book you in earlier, and most times I can squeeze you in on the next day. So if there is something urgent, if you've got a sick animal or a missing animal, just give me a call on 04398210047 and we can discuss when we can do the reading, because yes, sick animals are always very important, and missing animals obviously too, because we need to be able to react a lot quicker than when there's, you know, just general questions that people have. Going back to this beautiful guinea pig, they wanted to know from this beautiful girl how they will recognize her if she comes back. She tells me that she has visited them since her passing, but she tells me she was only here for a very short time. And she tells me that she's buzzing at the moment, so she's got a lot of things happening and she's quite busy. And she tells me that they will recognize her by her pants. So I'm not quite sure whether that would be the light color that she's got. So that's something that the owners can probably tell me what exactly she meant by that. Yeah, but she's an absolute beautiful girl. So hopefully she can connect with her owners again. And when animals do come back to us, they have, they might not be in the same body, so they might not come back as a guinea pig. They might not look, they obviously don't look the same, but they might just have these little few things that remind us of them, so we actually know that it's them. Okay, the next animal I would like to talk to, thank you for sending it in, whoever sent me this one. We've got a beautiful horse here. So this horse is called Rocket. I think he's a thoroughbred, and that's pretty much all I know. I'm not quite sure how old he is. I haven't got that information. He tells me that he's a very smart and wise boy, and he tells me that he can't really live up to his potential. He tells me that he has a lot of potential. He tells me that he is a quiet boy. He also tells me that he's got a lot of anxiety within him. He tells me that on the outside he's quite tough and you wouldn't really expect him to have issues, but he's telling me he is quite a sensitive boy. And he also tells me that gets often, people don't really judge that right with him. They think from the outside he's such a tough boy that he doesn't really have any needs, and he tells me that therefore they don't always respect him in a way that he should be respected, because they are not aware that he's such a sensitive soul. He tells me that he's in a yard by himself and that he would love to have a friend. He tells me that it gets quite lonely at a time. He tells me that he can see other horses, but he tells me that he would like to have a friend that's just for him. So, you know, who knows, maybe there's a pony they could put in with him. And sometimes horses, they're even happy, you know, if they have a sheep or if they have some other, you know, another kind of animal that they can be with. He tells me that he's a little bit cheeky, but he also tells me that he's very well behaved when it comes to working, and that he does his best that he can do. He's a little bit tight in the saddle area and girth area, and he also shows me a bit of tension in his belly, which could be related to stomach ulcers, and that is probably something, because he's telling me that he is quite sensitive, that people might not be aware of, that he just has some internal issues. He tells me that he would like to have his food made wet a little bit and a bit mushy. He says it's very dry, and he tells me that sometimes that's causing in his a few issues in his lungs and with his breathing. Let's have a look. The questions are what he needs from us, you know, what else could be done for him. And he says again that for him it's important that he is with other horses, that he feels a bit lonely. And he also says that sometimes he's a little bit misunderstood. So I guess that comes back again to him being a very sensitive boy, and that he just needs a bit of loving and a bit of attention from people. He tells me that he's quite talented, and he says that he has tried jumping before, which he liked. That's this boy here. And he tells me again that he tries to do his best. So he's a very honest horse. He tells me that his feet are getting a little bit long, so his farrier might be on the way. So that's something to keep in mind. And he tells me that he's nice and warm. He says that he's got a rug on, and he's saying it's a little bit wet at the moment, which we know it is. And but he says that he's nicely wrapped up, so he must be feeling nice and warm, which is great. Yeah, and he's talking again about having a little friend, so maybe even a little pony would be awesome if you can't have another horse. So who knows, there might be a possibility to have a little pony in with him. He also tells me that he's not very fast, so whether he used to be a racehorse but he says he doesn't care. He's happy. He's not that ambitious that he wants to go very fast. He tells me that he enjoys running, but he says that he doesn't need to go extremely fast. He tells me that that's not something that's important for him. How can we make his life better? I think he's answered that question for us. He had a couple of things that he wanted to have for his feed, that his feed is a little bit more wet, and about having a paddock companion. But he tells me the view is very nice from his paddock. So he seems to be in a position where he can see a lot of things and a lot of things happening, which he does enjoy. He tells me that's something that just, makes his day a little bit more interesting than just being locked up in a stable. And, interesting. So that's what he just said. And now the last question was whether he likes his paddock. And again, he's saying that he would like to be with another horse. But he also tells me that his paddock is in a nice position where he can see what's going on, which is fantastic. So he thinks that's quite exciting to see people come and go, and just to be able to see what's happening and sort of be in the center of attention. Okay, well, thank you very much, Rocket, for your conversation. Okay, who else have we got here? Someone sent me a photo of this beautiful girl. This here is Molly. And I'm just reading, I think Molly was around 14 when she passed away. Molly is not here with us anymore. She's an absolute beautiful girl. And she tells me that she's not just beautiful on the outside. She tells me she's absolutely beautiful on the inside. She tells me that she was very good with kids. She tells me that she's good with anyone. She said with any dogs, with any... Hi, Suzanne. Good to see you. So Molly tells me that she's good with kids, that she was good with kids. She tells me that she was good with anyone, that no one had to be scared of her. She tells me that she was an absolutely gentle soul and absolutely lovely and a beautiful girl. She shows me issues in her chest and stomach area. She says that she was really tight and tense, so it feels like there could have been an issue there, and it's it seems to be lung and stomach related. So it's not just up here or in the stomach. So the whole area seems to be quite tight. And she says that was one of her reasons of her passing. She's saying that she was still quite mobile. She said that she was still quite fit. Hello, Sandra. Good to see you. And she also tells me food related, she was such an easy girl to have. She was so easy to feed. She was easy to look after. She was absolutely a darling and an angel. She tells me that she was struggling with steps. That was one thing that bothered her. She feels that she was a bit of a burden for their people at the end. Isn't that beautiful that animals, you know, they're not feeling well anymore and they just worry about us. So that's absolutely gorgeous. This one here, that's beautiful, Molly. She also tells me that she was a bit sore in her neck area. But she says again, her mind was still very switched on, and it was really her body that let her down towards the end. But she also tells me that there's other animals around too. So she tells me that she didn't feel so bad about leaving because there are other animals that will still keep their owners company. So the owners wanted to know whether she's happy and if she's with another family. And Molly tells me that she's always been a dog that wanted to help people and that wanted to be of service. And so she tells me that she is now somewhere where she can do exactly that. And I get the feeling that she might be with someone with children. Not so much in a family with children, but there is children that need, you know, it could even be that she's a dog that, you know, goes to schools. She just shows me that she's really great at working with children and being with children. So that was her passion, she tells me. And she tells me that was something that she couldn't really do in her last life. There might have been children around, but she really wants to help and she wants to be of service. And she tells me that that's her passion and that's what she's doing now. So again, I don't really feel that she's, I mean, there might be children around in a family, but it feels more that she might even be a guide dog, or that she might be a dog that goes to school and helps with people that have a disability or that, you know, need special attention, you know, maybe children with autism or something like that. The other question was whether she has any messages for the owners. She tells me that the owners are very strong. She tells me that they were quite upset by her leaving, but they know that she's still with them, which is great and which is true. You know, we're always really upset when animals are not here anymore. And it is devastating because we can't feel them anymore, we can't hold them anymore, and they just leave such a big hole behind. But she tells me that the owners know that she's still with them, and she tells me that they can sometimes smell her, and she tells me that the area where they can see her or where they can feel her is in the passage. So she tells me that's where she visits. And she tells me that when she was young, she would run up and down the passage. That was her little game that she was playing. And she loved to zoom in and out the different rooms. And asking her again if there's any other messages that she's got for the owner. She tells me that she loved to go shopping with them. That's interesting. Would be interesting to know. See if we get some feedback from the owners. So she tells me that she loved to go shopping with them. And she tells me when you come home, people come home with the shopping bags, and she loved to go around and look in the shopping bags and see whether there was anything for her. And she tells me that she wasn't a dog that would go and steal things. You know, she wasn't that food obsessed that she would just go and steal whatever she finds in the shopping bags. But she tells me that she loved to just have a look and see if there's anything in the shopping bag for her. And the third question was whether she does visit, and that is something that she answered before. She said that she is visiting, and she told us that she's mainly visiting in the passage. That's that area that she loved to zoom around when she was a puppy dog, and that's why she chooses that place for them to visit. And she also tells me the other thing to keep an eye out for her visiting is anything with electricity. So which could be a light that's flickering, or it could be, you know, the TV having an unclear picture, anything like that. Yes, Jackie, that's very sad when we have to put our animals to sleep. So if you would like to be part of the live show, you can email me a photo. And if you want to get a private reading done, we can do that as well. And you can find all the information on my website. Beautiful Molly, bless her. Well, thank you very much, Molly, for talking to us. It was great having you here. And thank you very much for the owners. Yes, Monica, they can visit us anytime. So they can visit us. And yes, absolutely. You know, in the end, time is just an illusion, and animals can visit us. They can be with us, even if they're somewhere else. I mean, they're with us all the time. They don't even leave. And sometimes when we are emotionally too attached, it can be that we don't see them because we're just emotionally too upset. But they definitely, they stay around us, and they send us very... you know, I mean, it's not like getting an email in your inbox. You know, the messages they send us, or even the visits they give us, you know, they are quite subtle. So it might even be a song that's playing, and you think, oh, that's the song that reminds me of my dog, and you think it might just be a funny coincidence, but that can be a message that you're getting from your animals. Hello, sweetie. Well, my cat has just come in to visit. Okay, I haven't got a clock on me. If someone could let me know what time it is, that would be fantastic, because I don't want to go over time. But I've got another little beautiful cat here that the owner wants to get some information from. We have this one here. I think her name is either Sky or Skylar. I'm not quite sure. This is a beautiful girl that had to be put to sleep, as far as I know. And I'm not quite sure how old she was. I think she was around 10 before she was put to sleep. And that's this girl here. So she's an absolutely gorgeous girl, and she tells me that she was very gentle. She was a very soft girl, and she tells me that she wasn't very long with the owners, and she tells me that the owners, they wanted to do anything to have her happy and to make her feel good. She gives me a pain in her what's that, her right side, in her neck area. And she also tells me that she was struggling to breathe towards the end. So that was something that made her uncomfortable. But she also tells me that there were issues in her stomach as well. So that's maybe something that the owners weren't even aware. So it seems like there were a lot of internal things going on with her, that she was struggling. And she tells me that she didn't really want to walk anymore, that was hurting her. And even that there was a little bit of pain in her back as well. And yeah, she tells me that towards the end she was just lying a lot. She wasn't comfortable to walk around anymore. She tells me that she had the best of treatments. And she also tells me that she loved the attention she was getting. And she tells me that she was getting brushes, which she really liked. And she also tells me that she was scared of other cats, so she didn't really like being near any other cats. Yeah, but her main pain seems to be around her neck area. And she tells me that she was quite sick and that there was not much that the owners could have done. And the owners, they want to know whether they made the right decision with her. And that is always something that we obviously really worried about when we put animals to sleep. You know, should we have waited? Was there anything else we could have done? And an important thing is to know that as long as we do what we think is right at the time, then that's the good thing to do. Hello, sweetie. So even if you find out later that you could have done something different, you know, it is quite important that, whoops, sorry, that was my cat. Come on, sweetie. You really don't need to be on here. Come on, Baba. So yeah, it is important that we know that as long as we do what we thought at the time was right, then we did make the right decision. Animals, they don't get angry with us. They don't get upset with us. And, you know, sometimes animals, they can go on their own, and sometimes they do need help, and they are struggling to leave, and they're in a lot of pain. So yes, sometimes we do have to make that decision to do the right thing by them. And she's telling me that there was nothing that they could have done differently to help her to stay here. She tells me that she was quite sad to leave. She tells me that she hasn't always had a good life. So whether she's been to different places before, and she hasn't, I don't know how long she's been with the owners, but she feels that they have given her such joy in her short time she has been with them. So that's really great to know that people cared. And she might have been a rescue that has been in maybe in a what is it called, with the RSPCA. Okay, and the owners wanted to know if she's pain-free now. And she tells me that she's feeling really good now, and that she was, in the end, again, that she was struggling to breathe, and that was really hard for her, and that she just wasn't herself anymore. She says that she never got angry or she never got aggressive, but she tells me that she was quite sad, that she was feeling that way, and that she couldn't do anything to stay longer with the owners. And the other question they had was whether she's still around them, and she tells me that she's still around the home. She also tells me that there's no other animals there, so whether they haven't got any animals or they haven't got another cat now after she has left. So she's telling me that she's still sleeping on the same bed or in the same place she used to sleep. And she tells me that the owners can actually see that by feeling the place where she is sleeping. And she tells me that there will still be some warmth from her. So that's really great to know. And, you know, there's sometimes a smell that reminds of us our animals, or even that we feel that they brush us, or, you know, things like that, that they walk past us, or the smell, anything like that. And she tells me that she's still sleeping in the place where she used to sleep, and that the owner can put the hand on there and she can still feel the heat from the cat, the warmth from the cat. So that's a great way to see that the horse is still, the cat is still around. Hi, Stephanie, great to see you. Your Nan, I'm sure she is. I do talk to animals, so but just like people, animals are still around us when they have passed away, and I'm sure that your Nan is still around too. Great to see you. Have you got animals as well, Stephanie? I'm sure your dog is still with you, and Ozzy is close to you. What color was he? If you can let me know. Okay, so that was beautiful Sky, or Skylar was her name. So I'm not quite sure what time it is, but I think we're probably pretty much coming to an end with today's session. So again, if anyone would like to get a reading done, then please email me the photos and maybe 3 questions or so. Yes, I was thinking, Stephanie, that it was a dark dark dog that you had. That was just what came through. Was he a bigger dog or was he a little dog? So yes, do send me your photos and 3 questions if you would like to be on next week's show, and I will pick a few animals and we can have a chat to them and hear what they have to say. Oh, that's very sad, Amanda. Yeah, if you would like to get a reading done, just email the info through, and hopefully we can pick her for next week's reading, for next week's show. Yes, I can feel that she's at peace now. Yes, Stephanie. I thought it might have been maybe a Rottweiler. I just get a, a feeling that it was sort of a bigger dog. Yeah, what kind of dog did you have, Amanda? Yeah, I know it is very, very sad when they leave. They just leave such a big hole, because we come home and we're still expecting them to be there and jump around and get excited when they see us, especially, dogs. They're just so loyal and they always love us, and they will always love us. They will always be with us. So thank you very much, Amanda, for emailing. Yes, I've got no idea what time it is, but I think we're just about coming to an end of today's session. So if you would like to be part of next week's session, just email me photos, questions, about 3 questions or so, and give me a bit of information, name, how old they are, how old they were when they passed away, and hopefully I'll get the chance to chat with your beautiful animal in next week's session. Okay, well, if there's anything else, you can call me anytime, you can email me, message me, and I'm looking forward to chatting again next week. And yeah, exciting to connect with a lot more animals and be able to give you some closure, and also to answer some questions so we can have happy animals. Great, thank you very much, Jackie, and I will see you all next week. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'm looking forward to chatting again next week. See you then. Bye.